back. This is Elliott Serrano and Jose Melendez coming to you from Dreamland Comics in Schaumburg, Illinois. Thank you for joining us here yet again on the Comic Culture Warrior YouTube channel. We've had the bad and we've had the good. Let's talk about a little more good right now, because there was actually a book out there that a couple of
I read. Yeah, go ahead.
Our viewers were recommending.
I read the first one the week that it came out. I did buy it and I did read it, but I think that was the week that like all the Avengers books came out, so we didn't have time to review it because we were reviewing all those books.
And the book we're talking about is DC's R.E.B.E.L.S, R.E.B.E.L.S, which I don't know what that stands for. They haven't explained it in the book yet. By Tony Bedard and Andy Clark. It's like I guess an offshoot of Legion. I did not read Legion when it was out. Quite frankly, I grew up on the Paul Levitz, Keith Giffen Legion books, and then it just seemed like they just kept going back to that well over and over and over again, and like they've done with the X-Men books, the nostalgia factor just wore off for me, so I stopped reading them. Mm-hmm. But reading Rebels, I kind of regret it now, because this is a very clever book, which shows is starting to fill in a few of the gaps in the Legion history that a lot of folks might not be aware of. Again, though, before getting into the book, the Legion history and what the Legion is just pretty friggin' confusing. Yeah. How many Legions are there? I mean, it still hasn't even been resolved, because the Legion of Three Worlds title the miniseries hasn't finished coming out yet. Mm-hmm. I'm hoping that from that we'll get some sort of resolution to which Legion is the real Legion, Mm-hmm. But anyway, enough of that. Rebel shows... again, I was totally... Brainiac 2, having to deal with losing the entire Legion force, mm-hmm. Basically getting snatched out from under him by someone who obviously was smarter than he is.
And they put a big price on his head, so he's running from bounty hunters. Bounty
hunters, which is always fun. And then you have the Omega Men showing up. Was another part of the old Legion stuff that when I was in high school and I read, I really enjoyed that too. So Brainiac 2 is in issue number 2, Brainiac 2 is kind of being confronted by Brainiac 5.
Yes, he sent back some information in Supergirl's brain.
In Supergirl's brain, which the best line from issue number 1 goes, where Supergirl was, "What, I'm just going with you?" And Brainiac 2 says, "You were just used as a walking memory stick. Wouldn't you want to know why?"
And I have to say that this is Brainiac 2. I don't know where this guy's been for a while, because I'm not, again, like, the Legion stuff from the 90s, like, I wasn't anywhere near that. That was way before I even got into DC. And, yeah, the Legion stuff is very convoluted. But this Brainiac 2 is so arrogant and egotistical that I finally have a comic book character I can relate to. And I'm just, like, loving this character. He's just, like, putting people down left and right.
Because he's like Mr. Brightside, yeah. He reminds me a lot of the Brainiac 5 from Mark Waid's run on Legion, too, though. So I was like, every Brainiac character, I'm still waiting to find a Brainiac that's
not a dick.
That's not a dick. Again, though, the Paul Levitz, Keith Giffen Brainiac wasn't like that. He was just a really smart guy. And he was really smart, and he would always get tongue-tied around Supergirl. Mm-hmm. But it seems like, the Brainiacs right now are kind of, they're dicks. They're very self-important. To me, the only issue I'm having with Rebels right now is that because Brainiac 2 is such a dick, I really don't care what happens to him.
But I do, because I'm enjoying it.
He gets the shit kicked out of him here and there. I go, hey, good for you. How about showing you a little humility? But then again, there is that scene when he's confronting Brainiac 5, the image of Brainiac 5, the construct in his mind, who's giving him essentially the templates of all the Legion of Superheroes to try to put together a team of his own. And instead of going in the cliche direction that many other writers would do.
He's not going.
He
for
goes
the
in the
stuff.
complete
He's
opposite.
like, I'm going to build my own team,
Yeah.
and then he fucks over Supergirl after she helped him
Yeah,
out.
yeah.
Just what a dick move. But oh man, this book is very enjoyable, and this Brainiac 2 character is fucking awesome.
And
the art by Andy Clark is pretty awesome. I think it's an acquired taste for most people, but I really like it. I just think he does a killer job on here.
It's a little bit reminiscent of Jeff Darrow. You know, some of the stuff
yeah.
feels a
Little
little bit.
bit, yeah.
Feels like a bit of Jeff Darrow and stuff. Great. You know, I don't know if those I would be really interested to see what his pencils look like, because the inking on this book has to be really tight.
Yeah. Oh, actually, he's the artist.
Oh,
so
he's
he
the
does
artist,
both.
so he does both
both.
pencils and inks. That's really impressive stuff.
Yeah, I don't think this would drive
stuff.
an inker fucking crazy.
Yeah, it would drive an inker crazy, because some of those pencil lines are just so minuscule.
Mm-hmm.
That is really impressive artwork. I'm just curious as to how long he can keep up this sort of rate.
Yeah, and unfortunately, I'm going to come out and say this right now. I don't think this book is going to last.
Yeah.
It's too good of a book. It's too good of a book, first of all, and I don't know. I hope it really finds an audience. I do. And I've already talked it up at the shop here, and we've sold out. We sold out of the first one. We had to get restocked, and we're almost sold out of this book. Within the next couple of days, we'll sell out of issue 2.
Yeah.
And I'm really trying to talk this up, and man, it's like a really fun book.
No, it is a really fun book. The problem, though, is what was going on with Legion of Superheroes. If Legion of Superheroes, the grandfather of all these titles, can't find a steady audience. I mean, even when they get friggin' Jim Shooter on board to write it.
But you know what I like about this is that the problem, like, with jumping into Legion is, like, already there's like 50 characters that they're trying to tell. And this you're following Brainiac 2, and he's building his team, so you're getting to know each individual member as they join. And they're giving you backstory to some of the other guys too.
Right.
So I don't think it's going to be as bad as jumping into Legion.
And another thing too is, if you're someone who's been following Legion for as long as I have, or at least the original Legion of Superheroes, you get the added benefit of Andy Bedard. He's like filling in.
Tony Bedard.
I'm sorry, Tony Bedard is filling in the character origins that we've never had. But even if you didn't know who the eventual descendant of, like, say, this particular character is, you can still enjoy the book.
Right.
You don't have to have this extensive knowledge of Legion of Superheroes.
And I don't.
To really enjoy
and I really still enjoy this book.
So I think this is, to me, what you look for in a book. Something that offers something to both new readers and existing readers. Where, you can have that backstory that's moving along that your longtime readers can get into, but not alienating.
And the best thing about this is there's only 2 issues out. So you don't have to buy 2 issues to catch up. And you really, really, really should.
So, on that note, let's say DC, for all its flaws, has been putting out some really good second-tier books. All right, we'll end this review on that, and when we come back, we will talk about
the best Marvel book.
The best Marvel book there is right now.
Besides Ghost Rider.
Besides Ghost Rider,
but this one is a little bit better.
Sar, I know you're gonna love it. We're gonna talk about Invincible Iron Man when we come back.